Agaya and Ubuntu, everyone. Welcome to this Nova Sutras Equinox celebration. I'm Dr. Michelle Merrill. You'll want to try and arrange yourself for a meditation session, which will be most of the time of this broadcast today. If you can, find a comfortable place where you won't be disturbed. Turn off any unneeded devices, alarms, or other distractions. While we're settling in, I'll tell you a little bit more about the equinox, and I'll talk to you about the Nova Sutras movement, explaining a little bit about these concepts of Agaya and Ubuntu. Then, after a couple of minutes, we'll start the guided meditation. My intention is to help you get into a calm, relaxed, and meditative state. I'll let you know the specific time of the equinox, and for a few minutes, we'll all really focus on reverence and loving kindness, on Agaya and Ubuntu for the whole world. The equinox is so named because it's the time of year when night and day are about the same length. No matter where in the world you are, the center of the sun will rise and set 12 hours apart. Today, at 58 minutes after the hour, we will arrive at the specific place in Earth's orbit when our planet's equator is angled directly at the sun. So from Earth's equator, from that perspective, the sun appears to be directly overhead. So that's 21:58 UTC today. The sun will be directly overhead where it is also solar noon at the equator, which puts it over the Pacific Ocean between Hawaii and Tahiti. North of the tropics, today marks the end of winter and the beginning of spring. The days are growing longer, and in many places you can already see things emerging from winter's rest, with new leaves and blossoms as the first harbingers of the growing seasons to come. In the southern hemisphere, today is the end of summer and the beginning of autumn. The days are growing shorter, and in many places you could already see the leaves changing colors and animals storing food or migrating in preparation for the winter to come. The seasons are related to the orbit of the Earth around our sun and how the northern and southern hemispheres are sometimes tilted toward the sun and sometimes tilted away from the sun. Nova Sutras celebrates the solstices, equinoxes, and cross quarters, that is, the midpoints between the solstice and equinox, because these are amazing planetary phenomena about the interaction of our home planet and the sun. This is basic science. All humans can find agreement in this. And therefore, around the world, many religious traditions include some celebration associated with these specific times of the year. In Nova Sutras, we're choosing to celebrate equinoxes, solstices, and cross quarters by emphasizing the two fundamental concepts from the Nova Sutras movement, Agaya and Ubuntu. Agaya is a new term intended to express our joyous recognition of the deep, sacred beauty of the universe. Ubuntu is a term borrowed from South African languages that represents community and interdependence. In Nova Sutras, we expand this meaning to embrace the connections between all things, binding us all together in the more than human world with reverence, joy, generosity, gratitude, and loving kindness. The Nova Sutras movement works to promote Agaya and Ubuntu. We honor the principles that all of nature is sacred and should be treated with reverence and loving kindness. The principle that change is essential, inevitable, and important in all life. that complexity and maturity emerge from cooperative relationships, and that the beauty of the living world is to be savored, honored, celebrated, and fiercely protected. One of the things that make the equinoxes so important in the Nova Sutras movement is that equinoxes are the time when everyone, everywhere on Earth, experiences similar things. These are the only days when the length of daylight is the same almost everywhere in the world. For everyone everywhere, the sun rises due east and sets due west today. Many ancient civilizations built structures or set stones to help them locate these directions and recognize the equinoxes every year. Equinoxes are important times of change and movement. Many migrating species are on the move from south to north, following the sun. The equinox is a time when light and dark are in balance, and yet they're changing quickly. They're the pivot points of the year, reminding us of the impermanence that defines existence. What are some things that you need to keep in balance? How can you respond to dynamic change, yet maintain the stillness you need to keep from falling? To help us celebrate and connect with this equinox, I'll be talking you through a guided meditation. I will let you know as we approach the minute of the equinox, and I'll invite you to focus very specifically at that point in time. So I'll be talking you through that. But first, to open this as sacred space, we'll do a practice that Buddhists might recognize as a form of metta, and practitioners of various indigenous religions might recognize as calling the corners or calling the quarters. Now you can do this while standing and moving, or just sitting and thinking, whichever is more comfortable for you right now. I like to start by addressing where the sun is now, the nearest cardinal direction. In my case, on the west coast of North America, it's afternoon, so the sun is still in the south. I'll go around the compass directions, following the path of the sun, then up and down. We will acknowledge the beings that connect up and down, and then we'll start with ourselves as the center and radiate out. Please follow along out loud if you like, or you can just think and feel through it. Consider your own location and send your wishes out in that direction or that space based on where you are. May all beings to the south abide in Agaya and Ubuntu. May all beings to the west abide in Agaya and Ubuntu. May all beings to the north abide in Agaya and Ubuntu. May all beings to the east abide in Agaya and Ubuntu. May all beings above abide in Agaya and Ubuntu. May all beings below abide in Gaia and Ubuntu. May all the great tree beings and kelp beings that connect above and below abide in Gaia and Ubuntu. May I abide in Gaia and Ubuntu. May all beings nearby, all those I can reach with my senses, abide in Gaia and Ubuntu. May all beings in this watershed abide in Gaia and Ubuntu. May all beings in the surrounding habitat abide in Gaia and Ubuntu. May all beings on this continent abide in Gaia and Ubuntu. May all beings in this hemisphere abide in Gaia and Ubuntu. May all beings in Earth's bountiful biosphere abide in Gaia and Ubuntu. May all life everywhere in the universe abide in Gaia and Ubuntu. Now you're invited to sit comfortably. Feel your connection to the earth below you, grounding and stabilizing you. Feel your connection to the sky above you, filling you with light. Take a deep breath in. Hold it for a moment. Then exhale slowly and completely. Inhale slowly through your nose, noticing the feeling of the air moving past your nostrils and down into your lungs. Hold again. Now slowly release the breath. Feel how your chest and belly move and relax as you exhale. Now allow your chest and belly to expand and rise gently as you inhale. Take another slow, deep breath in and hold it for a moment, savoring the feeling of this breath nourishing your relaxed body. Exhale gently and slowly, inviting any tension remaining in your body to leave with your breath. Repeat this nourishing breath in. Hold it briefly, and slowly exhale completely to fully release tension and cleanse your lungs. Continue taking deep, relaxing breaths as we welcome in a greater appreciation of Ubuntu and Gaia. Ubuntu expands our awareness of connection, interbeing. Consider those people with whom you have experienced connection. Think of people that you love people that love you, people who at some time have given you a kindness, and people you have treated with compassion. Now, consider other beings in the more than human world whose presence has enriched your life. Perhaps a specific animal has been a valued companion. Maybe a plant that you cherish has beautified your home or your garden, or a tree has shaded you. Perhaps you have nurtured or tended a plant or an animal. Certainly, with every breath in, you take in nourishing oxygen that some plant exhaled. And then you exhale carbon dioxide that will nourish other photosynthesizers. All your food was once alive, and that life nourishes you. This is interbeing at its deepest level. This is what we in Nova Sutras call Ubuntu. Everywhere in the world, these interconnections and interdependencies exist. As you breathe in, allow yourself to feel these connections of Ubuntu. As you breathe out, send your gratitude for them along those radiating lines of interconnection. This gratitude to other beings with whom we share connection is just one facet of what we call a Gaia. A Gaia is also the deep sense of wonder we feel when we look at the structure of a leaf. The wonder we feel when we see a bird fly gracefully overhead, or when we hear the surging waves of a sea in storm. A Gaia is the wonder we feel when we feel the soft caress of a cool breeze, when we smell the rich loam of the forest floor, when we gaze up into a clear night sky filled with distant stars. A Gaia is our profound connection to the sacred beauty of our universe. A Gaia can inspire feelings of humbleness and also feelings of great joy. As you slowly inhale, invite this sacred joy of a Gaia into the center of your being. Hold it for a moment. Then as you release your breath, send with it your feelings of humble gratitude to spread out into the world. Inhale wonder and joy. Exhale gratefulness for interconnection. Inhale Agaya. Exhale Ubuntu. Now, inhale Ubuntu and hold that feeling of interconnection like an embrace. Then exhale Agaya to spread joy and wonder into the universe. Inhale Ubuntu. Exhale Agaya. Inhale Ubuntu. And exhale Agaya. Continue to take these slow, comfortable breaths at your own pace. As we begin to focus our attention on the Amazon rainforest. You may be aware of the threats to the integrity of this forest, the increasing pressure to carve roads through it, to cut the trees for wood, and to grow crops for export. Some of the native people, these indigenous rainforest inhabitants, are being driven from their homelands. The political climate in Brazil and other countries of the Amazon basin has recently experienced a shift farther away from conservation and toward destruction. While this deserves our attention and our informed action, it also needs our love and intention to heal. So for a few minutes today, we will bring our focus to the heart of the Amazon with an intention to share Ubuntu and Agaya with all beings there. I invite you to visualize being in that place together. See us gathered beneath the trees in the heart of this vibrant rainforest. The sun is just setting there now, after being straight overhead 6 hours ago at midday. The warmth in the humid air is more comfortable now that the heat of the day has passed. We can smell how that air is still rich with the scents of so many fruits, flowers, mushrooms, fallen leaves. The gentle trickle of a nearby stream sounds as a backdrop to the chorus of insects, frogs, birds, and monkeys as they prepare for the coming night. We can just hear the soft rhythm of chanting dancers in a distant village. The darkening sky is just visible through small gaps between the broad green leaves of the enormous trees that rise above you. A few moths and fireflies dance between the branches overhead. Even as the day's light fades, the riotous profusion of life here makes this forest seem to shimmer with energy. May the waters of the Amazon River and all its tributaries abide in Gaia and Ubuntu. May the great trees of the Amazon rainforest abide in Gaia and Ubuntu. May the twining vines, the ferns and flowers, and all the other plants and fungi that live in their shade abide in Gaia and Ubuntu. May the indigenous peoples of the Amazon forest abide in Gaia and Ubuntu. May the colorful birds, the agile monkeys, the stealthy jaguars, the fluttering bats, the graceful snakes, all the wondrous animals of the rainforest abide in Gaia and Ubuntu. May all life in the Amazon abide in Gaia and Ubuntu. In the spiral dance of the Earth's orbit, we are just about to reach the place that marks the equinox. From an earthly perspective, the sun is directly overhead on the equator where it's solar noon, in the middle of the great Pacific Ocean between Tahiti and Hawaii. Envision how that looks and feels right now. A brilliant midday sun directly over the vast blue Pacific. If we stood together on a becalmed sailboat there, the mast would cast no shadow. Imagine taking the warmth and shimmering radiance of the sun overhead and transforming it into loving kindness, into Ubuntu and Gaia. Now, at the equinox, imagine Ubuntu and Gaia shining forth through you, from your heart out into the world. Know that you are surrounded by community, that everyone meditating right now is there with you, that we are all radiating Ubuntu and Gaia. Together, we shine Ubuntu and Gaia across the deep and sparkling immensity of the Pacific Ocean. Together, we shine Ubuntu and Gaia to every place on earth, now touched by the light of this equinox sun. Together, we shine Gaia and Ubuntu out to touch all of those in the twilight and the dark of night right now, all around the world. Together, we shine the light of Ubuntu and Gaia across the universe from our beautiful little homeworld. Together, we inhale Ubuntu and exhale Gaia. Together, we inhale Gaia and exhale Ubuntu. Extend these experiences of Agaya and Ubuntu and offer them as a gift to the whole world. When you're ready, you may open your eyes if you haven't already done so, and allow yourself to gently return to the here and now. You should come into a state of calm attention and focus, energized by your contemplation of Ubuntu and Agaya through the moment of the equinox. Take a moment to thank yourself for sharing in this worldwide meditation. Take a moment to thank all those all around the world who are also meditating through the moment of the equinox. We in the Nova Sutras community thank you for taking this step toward wellness and awareness, and toward a vision of the world abiding in Agaya and Ubuntu. As we emerge into this new season, we invite you to take a few moments to reflect on the season that has passed, and then to focus your intentions for the coming months. What are you grateful for? What are you ready to leave behind? What resources can you release, making them available now for new growth? What seeds are you planting for the future? What is beginning to emerge now? What are your visions for a world abiding in Agaya and Ubuntu? What are your intentions for moving toward that vision in the coming months? You may wish to consider these questions further and write your responses in the live stream chat or share them later in the comments. I'll paste them in the live stream chat here for you to review. Now I'd like to talk for a bit about the Nova Sutras movement. This movement only began in late 2017. We're not even a year and a half old yet. Our main intention is to invite the power of community to transform global civilizations into expressions of Nova Sutra's core values, so we all begin to live in a world of Ubuntu and Agaya. Our goals for this next orbit of the sun include simply continuing to organize celebrations for equinoxes and solstices. Please get in contact via novasutras.org or on our Facebook page or Twitter if you want to host a local celebration. We'd like to begin developing a working wiki of Nova Sutra's philosophy, research, and practices. We intend to inspire worldwide conversations about community based on Agaya and Ubuntu. And we envision growing Nova Sutra's communities in at least 30 countries. In the following year, we intend to hold a major global celebration for the June 2020 solstice. As we build momentum, the Nova Sutras movement is hoping to bring people together to defend and protect the environment in Agaya and Ubuntu, to respond to disasters and help rebuild after disasters, to support justice causes, to promote education and research, helping to grow and preserve knowledge and culture, and to spread joy and celebration. So how would you like to participate? The Nova Sutras movement needs help to make this happen. We need people to share information about the movement to help it grow. We need creators and collaborators to work together on Nova Sutra's projects, to help produce online content and other materials, and to help plan and stage celebrations and other events. We also need generous people who can possibly share space to host celebrations, meetings, small gatherings, who can donate equipment like video cameras, microphones, materials for celebrations. Of course, we need people who can provide financial support. You can do this by buying Nova Sutras items like posters, t-shirts, reusable cups and bags from our Redbubble site, or if you can directly contribute funds to support the costs of our efforts and help us build the movement, please consider supporting us through Patreon. There's a link in the video description, and there are links on the website. So, what are some projects you'd like to begin as we move ahead? Do you have any questions for the Nova Sutras community? Any thoughts or wishes, reflections, or intentions that you want to share? Please share them in the comments. We can support each other and hold one another accountable for working toward our intentions. Thank you for joining us in this Nova Sutras Equinox celebration. Thank you for all that you do as an agent for change, Ubuntu, and a Gaia in the world.